We live in a hot take world. That's what this industry has become. Got to have a hot take, got to have an opinion, got to have it right away. Whether it's right or wrong, got to have a hot take. Never subscribe to it, won't subscribe to it. And I've been criticized because I don't have hot takes. I like to have informed takes. Maybe I don't have an opinion on something. Maybe it's, can I wait and see on something? But in this day and age, it's about the opinion, and it's right now. If I said 5 weeks ago, hey, maybe it's time for Aaron Rodgers to sit down, bring in Jordan Love. Okay. Jets are going to the playoffs. Steelers are done. Tom Brady's washed. Jags are a mess. 5 weeks ago. Look at where we are now. Tom Brady, one of his best games he's had in recent history. The Jets are out. Packers, you win and you're in. Carolina could have won the division yesterday. They fired their coach. They traded Christian McCaffrey. Got to have a hot take. Got to have it now. There's nothing wrong with waiting. It's okay. Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, okay. Hey, if they start to lose these games, then you put in Jordan Love. Well, you're still paying him $50 million a year. Here's Aaron Rodgers after the win yesterday against the Vikings.
Things have been happening for us the last few weeks exactly as we need them to happen. And that's the mindset that I've had the entire time, that there's some destiny involved with this, and it's just on us to go out and fulfill that.
Okay. The offense playing great. Well, they scored some points thanks to the defense. I still go back to what I thought in the preseason because I thought the Packers and Chargers were going to play in the Super Bowl. I thought the Chargers were going to win the Super Bowl. Now, the Chargers look like they're in a lot better shape than Green Bay, but the Chargers, as I always point out, find the banana peel. Feels like every year that I go, I think I like the Chargers. But this year, the expectation level is not as high because in the AFC, it's crowded with some very good teams. You have Green Bay. You can win the NFC. Now, is it going to be difficult? Yes, because you're going to be on the road. But you can win. Weren't they a 6th seed when Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl? But the defense is playing well, and that's the key. Run the football. I want less Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Less. Because if I have two good running backs and I have a really good defense, that's how I want to start my game. I don't need magic from Aaron Rodgers. I just think, all right, let's get these young developing wide receivers, get some touches in there, and come up with a big play or two. And if you have that formula, Green Bay could win the NFC. At least that's what I thought this year.
Stick with it, man.
I am. I have to. That's my Super Bowl pick. But, you look back at what the NFL, it happens so quickly where you're like, all right, I figured this out. It's a long season. You go back to September. Your opinions in September, then your opinions in October, your opinions in December, and here we are in January. And you're still trying to figure out, how good is Buffalo? How good is Cincinnati? They play tonight. Buffalo is a slight favorite. How good is Kansas City? All else fails, you got Patrick Mahomes. And to me, that's the ultimate weapon. Nobody has that. All else fails. Who can I rely on? I can rely on Patrick Mahomes. I know that. But you start to handicap the NFC. Can you count on Dak Prescott in a big moment? Can you count on Mike McCarthy in a big moment? Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts coming back. When's he coming back? Can you count on him in a big moment? He had a taste of the playoffs last year against Tampa Bay and looked not ready for the moment. San Francisco struggled to put away the Raiders with Jarrett Stidham as quarterback. Made him look like he was, Darryl LaMonica. You're trying to figure this out. And I don't know how good the Niners are. Brock Purdy played well. I wanted to see how he'd perform coming back to win a game. Joey Bosa is going to be your defensive player of the year. So you have Nick Bosa is going to be defensive player of the year. But you have these teams where you're still trying to figure them all out because everyone's flawed. I don't know how good Tampa is, but they're going to host the Cowboys, it looks like, in a playoff game. Can they beat them? Sure. Yes. Now's not the time to go, now I'm going to start betting against Tom Brady. Brady at home, played well, great game. Granted, it was against Carolina. And so I think that when you start to give an opinion on something, a hot take on something, you got to, play this out. It's a long season. Instead of going, right now, this team is, okay, right now, bigger. Vikings. Got a good handle on the Vikings? They're the worst 12-4 team I've ever seen. Where you go, wait, they're 12-4. They're, I think, a 1-point favorite against the Bears in Chicago. The Bears are terrible. I mean, isn't that crazy? Yeah, Paulie.
I'm going to give you a quarterback stats, and you guys try to name the quarterback. Talk about one you didn't see coming.
Kirk Cousins.
This guy's got 4,000 yards passing. Mm-hmm. He's got 29 touchdown passes and only 7 interceptions. He's tied for fourth in the league for touchdown passes. He's also got the fewest interceptions of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league in passing touchdowns. So this guy's having probably the best year in the NFL, one of the best years.
Kirk Cousins.
Jared Goff.
Oh!
Jared Goff has 4,000 yards, 65% passer, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks. Just to give you a comparison, he's just a tick behind Josh Allen in stats this year.
Okay.
Just a tick.
Good call.
Saying he's just a tick ahead of Geno Smith.
He's tied with Geno at the Geno Smith also has 29 touchdowns. You would have won that bet if you had Jared Goff over under. It had to be what? I'll bet it was 19 and a half touchdowns this year for Jared Goff over under before the season.
Yeah.
What do they do with him? They've got this draft pick from Seattle that came out of nowhere. Right now,
it's with the Rams.
Sorry, with the Rams. They have the 6th pick of the draft, Detroit, and they may not take a quarterback. Then their own pick is 17th.
Yeah, but I don't want to take a quarterback. I want to take the quarterback that makes sense for them. And that guy might not be there. He might already be off the board. And maybe you stay with Jared Goff. And why wouldn't you? They got a lot of offensive talent there. And then you have this big game against Green Bay. Yes, Mark.
I think the Lions might look at this season as a real disappointment because they had so many close games early in the season, and they shouldn't even be in this predicament right now.
You're right. I thought that there were going to be 3 teams from that division make the playoffs. And I thought the Lions were going to make the playoffs. But, that's what's crazy. They were horrible to start, losing all these close games, and then all of a sudden, nobody wants to face them. And now you have Green. I would not be surprised if Detroit won that game in Green Bay. They just wouldn't. It's just been that kind of season where you go, what just happened? Yep, that happened.